here on the stage, so I'm going to hear more about what you learned. You got a call. You didn't pick up the phone. You were to play.
Oh yeah. No, I was actually at an audition and I got an email from JJ saying Abrams, and I said something like, "Oh, I'm at an audition or something," and he said, "Good luck." So I was like, "I didn't get it. Obviously, why would you want me to get another job if I got it?" But he said something about calling later, and then my phone was broken and I had voicemails and I didn't know how to call the US and all of the nonsense. Then I finally got in touch with him and thought I had to convince him. So I was like, I can do it, I can handle it, I know I can. And then he told me. And then I had to go into the second half.
What did he say? You got it? You're Ray?
What he actually said is, you're going to star in Star Wars. And I do remember that because I hadn't read the script. So I was like, oh, okay. And I went back into this like pretty terrible play. And then my phone died on the way home and got home. My mother is here. Told my mum and sister. Where are you, Mother? She's there. Yeah, it was...
Told your mum?
It was surreal. Couldn't sleep. Yeah. It was so strange.
And did you have any idea what you were getting into?
No. And I mean, I know people go, oh yeah, but you knew. I really didn't know. I hadn't seen all of the films. I really didn't know that people loved it in the way that they do. And then obviously you're filming it and you're like, oh, this is something, I'm in a film. And then all the other stuff happens that you don't expect, like toys and press and all that sort of stuff. So it was, a journey.
Toys and press is maybe like the most understated version of the rabid, crazy Star Wars fandom and industry that we're sitting in the middle of here. By the way, it's so cool that we're in industry like that. So has that been sort of strange? I mean, did you grow up a Star Wars fan? Sounds like not.
I did not, no.
And B, were you like, oh, I'm going to go to the center of this giant epic trilogy ×3 and, sort of be the object of such mania?
No, and I don't know, it was weird because it does really feel like you're part of a group, so it never felt like individually it was going to be so, you feel it, I think, as a group that, oh yeah, we're all part of this thing, but it has become obviously more as time's gone on. And then initially, people didn't recognise me and stuff outside of the film. And then that's grown, weirdly, after Orient Express came out, that became more of a thing. So it's all
stuff on the street and
yeah, it was very strange. So that's all become more of a learning thing as time's gone on.
And you've talked about how you are no longer engaged in social media as a sort of. Can you tell us why?
It was weird. Everyone tried to link it to this thing I put up, and I was like, no. It was just I had this thing where I was like, I just don't want to be on it. Like, I know people use it for good. A lot of people do, but I just think it's just not for me. I don't know. I think also people that use it for good have a lot more to say and are a lot more articulate. I can't say anything better than anyone else anyway. So, so I don't know. It's just not for me, and I'm happier off it.
And is it also because you're like an international superstar and just want a teeny bit of privacy?
Yeah, because also like I didn't want to share what I had for breakfast and stuff. I was like, I'm good. Like I can keep the secret. Yeah. So it just wasn't really a thing for me.
Did you get any advice from fellow actors or actresses about how to handle fame? And we will get off the fame subject. It's just you've been quite articulate about it.
I met Emma Watson because our colorist on the film was brought onto Harry Potter at the very beginning and became Emma's personal. So she put us in touch, and we went to like a Mexican restaurant called Garden, and she was super chill. But weirdly, she was too chill because everyone else was going, "Oh my God, your life's going to change." And then Emma Watson was like, "It's totally fine." So I was in a really weird state of like, I really didn't know. And also, because it's happened with Kelly, like I have told Kelly my experience, and I've told Naomi Aki my experience, but also they're women of colour, so that's a different thing anyway. So you can't, anyone telling you it's going to be one thing, it's never going to be that thing anyway. So even if people are nice or warn you or whatever, it's your own thing. It's just a strange thing you have to go through, yeah.
And are there, I know this from reading a certain story that may be coming up in a certain magazine someday, but do you have any, for example, any like woo-woo, cool alternative things that you use, or how do you keep yourself sane?
Well, my sister's a Reiki practitioner, and weirdly, like when I was auditioning, it was strange because there was a whole process when I was auditioning, but before I even auditioned for the film, somebody told me they were auditioning for it, and I had a really weird sense that I knew I was going to get it.
Really?
which was like months before I even knew there was a part for me. Yeah. So I do believe in the universe.
But you believe in what?
I believe in like the universe, and that I also seem to
The
guess
force.
when people are pregnant,
You can
which
sense
is
it.
which like to give you context, we did a few pickups, and I said, oh no, I went in and I was on the 1917 set, and our second AD, I went, oh, are you pregnant yet? And he was like, oh yeah, and it turns out that they had found out they were pregnant that day, and that's happened a few times.
Really?
Yeah, so I do feel a bit witchy. But I work out. I see my family a lot. If I don't want to go out, I don't go out. Like, I don't feel that pressure anymore to see people if I'm not feeling up to it. Massages, facials, that sort of stuff.
Any like crystals?
Oh yeah, I have crystals. And I travel with my little box of crystals.
You travel with a little box of crystals?
Yeah, and weirdly I've started to get a bit panicky on planes, so I imagine a white light around the plane before we take off.
Really? A lot of us just come off the plane. Did you get any like weird senses about that? White light. I'll picture a white light tomorrow.
Yeah, it just I don't know, it just makes me feel a bit cocooned,
Yeah.
But also I believe that things happen for a reason, not bad things. I think bad things are accident, but good things happen for a reason. So that sort of takes the pressure off sometimes.
Just curious about the crystals. How little are they?
There's a box like this full of a few, and then I have a bag full of a few.
And
then I have some around the house.
And do certain ones mean certain things, and you hold them at different times? I don't know
No,
about
I
crystals.
just carry them all together. Yeah. Apparently you take the ones that you're drawn to. But somebody gave me a bag of ones that meant certain things before filming started, which was very nice. So I just felt like they were all very protected.
Okay, so I meant to say I'm going to divide this conversation into 3 parts. One is going to be the Daisy career part, one is going to be the Star Wars geek part, and one is my being the geek. And then a few questions possibly for my 10-year-old son. And then we will have the rapid fire that we do often at the back of the magazine, something called 20 questions, and you can pass on any of those questions. But you must answer all of these.
Okay.
You've played Rey, obviously. Now so it was a new take on Ophelia.
Yes. Well, I played Ophelia.
Okay, got it.
About 3 people saw it, which is, it is funny to go from something that a lot of people see to something I'm like, please, can you see myself? Because it would be nice if we had a few more views.
And you executive produced The Eagle Huntress, which
Yes.
I'm obsessed with. Those are all very, sort of feminist, strong female protagonist movies, projects. Is that on purpose? Do you seek these out? Do they find you? Is there a reason?
I think after Force Awakens came out, it sort of came to me a bit more, but also I have an amazing agent who, I think I know she has guided things in a certain direction. But honestly, I just feel really lucky. Like, I feel like I've got a lot of chances that other people have found it hard to come by and all that sort of stuff. So I think the combination of the time we are in now, with the conversations we're having now, plus having just played Rey, it all sort of led to being able to play great things.
Did you always want to be an actress?
No, I wanted to be a zoologist before I didn't like zoos, and then I went to school because I was quite naughty. We found a boarding school where I'd be busy, and then
you mean mom over there?
And
how old were you into boarding school?
9. Because we went and did a violin summer course every year, and I had a friend called Jack who just went to boarding school, and I was like, boarding school sounds awesome. So then went to boarding school. So I did performing arts the whole way through, but then had an amazing teacher in my last year, and that was sort of it.
What was how did you first make your first dollar?
Pound. Pound, yeah. I think I waitressed at a thing that my friend's mum was running, where you hand around hors d'oeuvres. And you get paid like £5 for the day.
And apparently, I've learned this from a video on YouTube. Not that I was like stalking you on the internet, that you're very good at pouring a pint of beer.
I am a good bartender, mostly because I don't really do with the small talk. I was basically like, tell me what you want and I'll make you a drink. We don't have to have a conversation about it.
And that makes you a good bartender.
Yeah, it makes me good at being a bartender. It doesn't make me a good person bartender. I just wanted to get on with it.
You're good at making the drinks, the skills.
Yeah.
It seems sort of Aries to me. I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
All right, a little more nerd questions, not quite as nerdy as I will get. Carrie Fisher, such an icon for so many of us. Around for the filming of the first movie?
Around for the film with the first two.
First two.
Yeah.
And then there's more footage of the two of you together coming up.
Yeah.
What was it like to work with her? And then there's a really interesting way that you're integrated, or you're together in the third movie.
Yeah, so they're using unseen footage, which is weird because it's like it's added emotion anyway. So the scenes are already emotional, and then it's very strange because you sort of know she's, you know, it's strange. But she was, yeah, she was funny. The hug of us, I think, in the first one. She was literally going, "This is the longest fucking hug in the world. When are we going to stop hugging?" And then we just danced between scenes. So it was like that. But she was phenomenal, super smart, super funny. All that.
I can't open this bottle of water, so
Those good things.
perhaps you can use the force. Yeah. I heard someone else that joke. How many times did you get a force joke?
Not that often, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And when the trailer came out, I was like, "Hello, can more people text me, please? I'm well excited about this."
I mean, the trailer is a whole other, like, just one nerd question. Does C-3PO die?
Does he? Can a droid die?
Yes, that was another question I had. Can a droid die? So I don't know if C-3PO, the actor, is, I think, the only person, again, this is where I'm getting really nerdy, who has been in all 9 movies.
Yeah, I think so.
Playing the same character.
Mm.
Wild. But there's a really... How many of you seen the trailer? Okay. You're going to go home tonight and watch it. It's really... There's so much to get in it that I haven't really figured it all out yet, but we're working on it. What's the deal with Rey and Kylo Ren?
They have a very sort of contentious relationship, but obviously a very strong connection, which culminates in a big old fight that we did for 6 days in England in November with water cannons firing at me, which I can safely say is the most respect I've ever got from a crew, because everyone was in like North Face, massive jackets, freezing cold, and I was there like...
in your, like...
freezing cold, yeah.
And
but it looks great.
in 6 days of filming this intense fight
Yeah.
scene, did you have to do tons of prep work and get in great shape? And
I had been training, so I mean, talking about self-care, after the press tour for 8, I was like, this sucks. Like I had
press tour for 8, that's how they call it.
The Last Jedi. I'd had 2 quite difficult experiences. I had worked too close, I think, and hadn't given myself time to sort of chill, and then went straight into a press tour which was long and had to fly all over, and I was just so tired. So we were filming the following August, and so the January to the July I just trained, and I had a different trainer, and very nicely Disney paid for that. But the training I do now is so different. It's about health and being, so he sort of healed me. And then I started doing sort of kickboxing, and then getting more into training for the film, as opposed to just training to be healthy.
John Boyega, Finn.
Yeah.
Great friend of yours on
Yeah.
set. What is it like hanging out on the set of Star Wars? I was reading all the stories about you, looking at the sets. You were like in the desert for many months, and it just feels, it's so strange to see a whole bunch of like, you know, droids and monsters and a few of you hanging out, and then there's like sort of all the characters. It just looked like a really intense experience. Was it good to have friends in the desert? And
I do think, like, you look at people that do, you know, like trilogies or whatever that may be, who don't get on. It must just be really hard, because we filmed the first 2 films like 7 months, middle film like 5 or 6. It's a really long time. So if you weren't to get on with the people that you're working with, I imagine it just is really difficult. But we had so much fun. And also, it's not just the cast, like the crew are awesome. And especially for me, liking to feel safe in an environment. Because we'd worked with the crew once, I felt so comfortable. It was really joyous. And that's not to say it wasn't difficult and all that sort of stuff, but as a sort of, there was such a lovely spirit on set. And everybody felt it, which was nice, because also oftentimes you think maybe it's just you, but everybody, especially for this film, felt like they were making something really special.
What does that mean when you said me liking to feel safe in an environment?
Well, you know I work better when I'm calm and I know who's around me, and all, as most people do, but obviously some people can function in whatever environment. I very much know my work gets better as I get calmer. So from the off, because I knew a lot of people, I felt so calm. So it was just a really great way to begin.
So obviously you being Rey, female protagonist, center of the film, Finn being played by an African American, there's an Asian character in the thing. Was there sort of a sense on set that you were like modernizing this fabulous but old school epic?
I mean, what's nice for me is I never felt that. Like, I grew up in London in a very multicultural school. Like, it was I never really felt, you know, differences between people. So when we were doing the first one, I was like, this is awesome. Me and John feel like brothers. There's loads of cool people around who look different, but like that's what I always knew. So it was only really the reaction, and also because I didn't know that much. I haven't seen a lot of films, so I didn't know how bad representation was, even though that sounds ridiculous. Because you just get drawn to the thing that's representative anyway. So you're like, oh yeah, you know. So making it, I didn't have that thought, which I think is actually nice, because I just thought this is a great thing. I get to play a great part. John gets to play a great part. We're all having a great time. And then obviously the reaction with it was so huge. And now being in it, I can see all of the stuff that people were talking about then. And now I notice it a lot more.
Really say you haven't seen that many films?
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It
Just
really
sitting
is.
backstage, you'd seen like 5 that I have not seen yet. So speaking of embarrassing, certainly up to date now.
I'm better now at going to the cinema.
Okay.
But like I started watching Apocalypse Now the other day, and I was just so tired that I had to pause it. And then I felt awful because it's obviously one of the best films ever made. But there's a lot that I haven't seen.
It's very long.
It is long.
Okay, I'm going to skip a few of my nerdy questions because we are. Except that, do you know that Daisy can sing? I'm not going to make you sing, but apparently, according to someone you may have been interviewed by recently, you really want to be cast as a character in Cabaret.
Oh, well, I may or may not appear on an amazing sort of reality show with like an amazing man who dresses in amazing things. And we were doing a certain podcast, and he mentioned Cabaret. But I basically wanted to do anything, and I actually auditioned on Saturday for a musical film. And I was so nervous, I was like, and it was horrible, and I'm never going to get it.
Which is what you said about Ray, so we'll take that with this much truth. Okay, time for some rapid fire fun questions. Last 3 things on your credit card.
It was probably breakfast today, because we started with one thing, me and my mother, and then added a coffee, and then added juice.
Okay, mom's confirming right there. Coffee and juice.
Yeah.
Okay. What should every woman try once in their lifetime?
I mean, I would say what everyone should do is eat at a restaurant alone.
Huh. Interesting.
I know, sorry, I wish I could think of something.
Anyone done that?
In fact, no, I tell you what, go travelling by yourself. I did that.
Anyone done that? Okay. Okay, but who's eaten at a restaurant or gone traveling before there were iPhones by yourself? Okay. I've done that too, it's hard. Or for this Aries, it's very hard. Book that left a lasting impression on you.
I mean, just because I just read it and I've been thinking about it since The House on Vesper Sands, which is great. It's sort of, you know, a fun, what would you call it? Sort of a detective story, but with like fantastical elements.
Okay. Sounds like sort of like Star Wars. Song you'd like played at your funeral. Sorry, a little morbid. Here's another one. Go-to karaoke song.
Oh, Tony Braxton, Unbreak My Heart.
Your perfect day would begin how?
Sleeping. Like a long time and not being woken up.
And how would your perfect day end?
Probably reading in bed.
You really need to go out more.
I know. I really don't go out.
No, you probably don't.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to a woman with a broken heart?
Oh, time heals all wounds.
Okay.
It sucks now and it might suck later, but it will suck less.
I like that one better. Food you're not ashamed to say that you love.
Tofu. Everybody judges tofu. I like it.
I know, it's just most people answer like Cool Ranch Doritos or Flaming Hot Cheetos.
I know, but unfortunately I'm a vegan, so also that's a very boring answer.
Flaming Hot Cheetos are not vegan?
In fact, I think they are mainly fake things, so they probably are vegan.
Craziest thing you've ever done for love?
When I was filming in Canada, I was very homesick and wanted to see my family, so I flew back from Montreal for less than 24 hours.
Oh, for love of your family?
Yeah, I was just
That's
homesick.
so sweet.
Yeah.
What would your high school boyfriend say about you now? Or just say about you?
Oh, I have no idea, and honestly, couldn't care less.
Which of the, how many vices are there? This is someone I'm doing from memory, but like there's greed, lust.
7, no?
Yeah,
7.
sins. Well, if we can name them all, which one, if any of them, is your sort of guilty?
Oh, I really try not to, but I do get jealous.
Mm.
And I try and smother it with love. But mainly of other actresses who, by the way, I always think are amazing. But I'm always like, oh, no. And it's not that I don't want them to be doing what they're doing, but I'm like, oh, can't I do that too? But
So
I
you
do
smother
find
them with love?
I smother my own feelings of jealousy with love. It doesn't always work.
Love for yourself or love for the person you're jealous of?
No, I try and smother the feelings of jealousy with love so I no longer feel jealous and instead just feel happiness for
Does
their
it work?
success. Yeah, it does sometimes. No, it's...
The crystals help too?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the, well, I think we sort of talked about this. What's the worst part of your job?
That you sort of don't have a life when you're doing it. And I think for people that aren't in that, it's hard to say, sorry, I'm not going to see you for essentially 7 months because I have to literally go home and go to bed and wake up the next day. But luckily, getting on with people helps. My hair and makeup artist on films is a really good friend of mine, so that helps. But yeah, like not being able to do things sort of in the week.
Best perk of the job?
That I get to like say lines and put on fun clothes and run around and get paid.
A superpower you'd most want to have?
Teleportation.
Okay.
Just immediately being somewhere.
Does Ray have that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Can she fly? No.
No.
No, just trying to think of it. Just the force. Just the...
Yeah. Maybe she could fly. She tried really hard.
Sat there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daisy. This has been wonderful.
Thanks.
We're really, really thrilled to see the movies, thrilled you can join us, thrilled that we're sitting here at the center of the Star Wars universe, with the center of the Star Wars universe.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Please welcome Alison Glock and Aquafina to the stage.